Hi, everyone. My name is Shadisha Bennett Brody, and I'm a licensed mental health counselor here at Flagler College. Today, we're going to be talking about how to support someone while they're grieving. Admittedly, discussing grief and loss can be difficult, both for the person grieving and those who love them. But talking openly about grief can be a path to healing. Grief is the natural emotional response resulting from significant loss, especially the death of a loved one. Grief is a process, not an event. What this means is that your friend or loved one will need your support, not just right after the loss, but in the coming months and maybe even years. Loss and grief doesn't have to be from a person dying, however. It could be many things like loss of a cherished pet, a change in health status. It could be the end of a relationship or loss of safety after a traumatic event. It could also be a drastic change in future plans, such as having to drop out of college. In order to support someone who's grieving, it's helpful to understand what they might be experiencing. The 5 stages of grief created by Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, a psychiatrist. She observed these stages in people who were in hospice and were dying. Later on, the stages were applied to people who were experiencing grief and loss. People don't move through the stages in a linear way. They can re-experience the same stages or even get stuck in a specific stage. Usually, denial is the first stage. It comes with difficulty acknowledging what's happening. Anger, your friend might be irritable, frustrated. They may overreact to things that wouldn't normally bother them. And then there's bargaining, which is where they may try to create a less traumatic outcome of the loss. Depression is also one of the stages. Common signs of depression include sadness, low energy, feeling demotivated, losing trust in God. People talk about feeling like this is the lowest point in their life and that they don't see a way out. We also see signs of indifference, reclusiveness, even pushing others away, and having zero excitement towards anything in life. The last stage is acceptance. This is when the person realizes that denying the loss won't make it go away. There might be some peace and acceptance, but this can still be a very painful place to be. People experience grief differently, and there isn't any one perfect way to grieve, but there are some suggestions about what may be helpful or unhelpful. Although it's hard to see someone you care about in pain, try not to be too overprotective. Don't shield them from the pain because doing so can maintain denial. You'll be feeling a lot of emotions, but try not to make it about you. Your friend or loved one needs your support right now. Try not to work too hard at cheering them up or encouraging them to push their emotions away. Saying things like, they're in a better place, or at least they aren't in pain anymore, can feel like you're minimizing their emotions for some people. Overall, listen to the person you're trying to support and go at their own pace. Don't give advice unless explicitly asked for. Try not to offer quick solutions or platitudes like, time heals all wounds. Remember that it's not your job to fix their grief, because that's not possible, but it is possible to provide support to make it somewhat easier. Don't pry or ask too many questions if the person doesn't want to talk about it. Just follow their lead. Some helpful ways of supporting is to show genuine care and concern. Make it clear that you're there to listen to them with compassion. Talk openly and directly about the loss. A lot of grieving people like talking about the person or thing that they're grieving because they worry that they might forget or lose their connection. Also keep in mind that evening, weekends, anniversaries, and holidays can be extra challenging times. Chances are you will feel awkward, and that's okay. Even if you've experienced grief yourself, you still may not know what to say. It doesn't hurt to be transparent. It's okay to say, I don't know what to say. It's also perfectly fine to sit with someone in silence if that's what they want. So don't worry about saying the wrong thing. Just your being there is what's important. Keep in mind that there might be cultural differences that impacts both how we talk about grief and how we cope. You can offer to help the person find ways of acknowledging the loss, like creating a ritual. You can also offer practical support like making meals or cleaning. Don't forget to practice your own self care. You can't be present for others if you aren't taking care of yourself. Thank you for taking this journey with me today, and I will leave you all with this quote. You will survive and you will find purpose in the chaos. Moving on doesn't mean letting go.